We went through what was called the Reconstruction era. Reconstruct means to rebuild. That was a period in American history where blacks were given a lot of power during the Reconstruction era. You had Governor Pinch back from Louisiana. You know, we even had a black governor back in those days. We had a lot of senators and representatives during the Reconstruction era. But what happened was, many Southerners didn't respect the law of the land, even after the Civil War was fought. So many Southerners made up their own laws. And these laws were your Jim Crow laws. And you know, Jim Crow refers to, it's a name given to a racial caste system. It's a racial caste system. And it was mainly practiced in the South and the border states. It was not practiced in the northern colonies too much. It was not practiced there. To let you show how it was not practiced there too much, I'm going to use Florida. In Florida, no black person in Florida graduated from any state school in Florida prior to 1960. You had black people graduated from Harvard, Princeton, all those schools 100 years prior to the first black graduated from the University of Florida. That's how far behind the South was. That's how far behind the South was. So what these Jim Crow laws did, they restricted your movement. Come on now, let's get it now. People don't get the whole story. They had certain laws that were enacted to keep the black man in place. Two that I'm going to talk about very brief is something one is called the poll tax. Poor whites in the South were affected by the poll tax too. The poll tax was $1.50 to vote. Today that's equivalent of about $25. Now you know how many people, a lot of people ain't gonna vote, you gotta pay $25 to vote today. That's what it was back in those days. That was a tax that was put on, it really, mainly for blacks. Because a black person during these days here was counted as 3/5. You were not counted as a whole person. You were not counted because of the population of the blacks being more in the South than in the northern states, okay? So that's what the poll tax was. Now they've also given what we call literacy tests. And these literacy tests would test, you know, what you knew. And these tests were crooked. They were rigged. They were rigged against more white folk and black folk. They were rigged because they didn't think that either of the two should be able to vote and do other things. Now, if you go and look at some of those tests, they have examples that you can find. I can take any of those tests and concoct that test that nobody in here will pass that test. I can rig that test. And that's what was given to people to prevent them from voting. Slavery, but naked wrong. It's wrong, really wrong. It's wrong. That poll tax. Now, what we have here, that the school system. Blacks were not able to read. They were not allowed to read. I got some slave narratives that if any of y'all are interested in it, I could show you some of them. But I'm going to skip forward and come back. In 1936 and 38, the federal government had some money. And this money was given to the WPA, And some of the money was earmarked for roads, bridges, and some of the money was earmarked for what we call the Federal Writers Administration. That's where you got a job, you were paid a little money to go and write. 2,600 ex-slaves, people that were born into slavery, some may have been a year old when this work was done. But you had to have been born prior to the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. You had to have been born prior to that. And they interviewed these people, and they all had stories to tell about slavery. It was done in 17 states. It was a pretty comprehensive piece of research. Now, one of the main reasons why black kids were beaten was because of the fact they were caught learning how to read. There's one of those narratives that talked about this kid that was playing with the master's kid in the yard. And this kid wrote something on the ground. And the slave owner asked him, what was that? And he told him what he had written on the ground. And he talks about how the slave master took him and tied him with something, stick behind his back, and whipped him because of the fact that he was trying to learn how to read. Slavery was butt-naked brown. Butt-naked brown. Butt-naked brown. So we had schools in the South. It was not until after the Civil War was fought that blacks in the South were even afforded an opportunity to learn, because you couldn't do it. But in the North, it was different. In the North, it was entirely different. That was the example of the peculiar institution. It was entirely different. It was entirely different. So, after the war was fought in Reconstruction, there was a need for teachers to educate or teach these black kids in the South. 99% of the teachers that taught these black kids in the South were white women from the North. Those were the first teachers that black kids had in the South. Some people didn't like it, you know they didn't. And some people wanted to better the lives of black kids. Now, there were a lot of white people that had a lot of money at this time. And they really said that this is wrong and I'm going to do something. There was a guy by the name of Julius Rosenwald. He was one of the vice presidents, and he later became the president of Sears and Roebuck. See it. He gave his life savings for the betterment of black kids. He built over 5,000 schools and homes for black kids in the South. That was his gift to humanity, Julius Rosenwald. He built those schools. He didn't give all of the money, but it was a matching type of thing. You do this, I'll do that. The first school that we had in Hawthorne for black kids was Shell. That's the school that I attended. He gave the money for that. He gave the money for 9 other schools in Alachua County, because the school board didn't have it. You know, we had schools all around Hawthorne. In Alachua County, we had about 41 schools, but they were all in churches, Masonic buildings and things like that. And the teachers weren't paid nothing. If you were in a black school and you taught, you earned $20 a month. you were in, a white school, you got much better pay. It was not, it was pitiful. When I went to Shell, we didn't have any running water. We had 2 faucets on the school campus, and they were on the back. And I often tell people when I was a little boy, I was a good boy. I was a good boy. And if a young lady wanted to use the bathroom, the teacher would say, "Pop, you go out there with her to the bathroom." The outhouse, not the bathroom, the outhouse. Because men were afraid of the spiders and the roaches that were in. That's the way it was. But when I look back over that, I say, God, I thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you for the way that I came up, because it made me the man that I am today. So, it was hard. And we thank Julius Rosenwald. And we do have in the audience here the grandson of Mr. Shell right here, for the work that his grandfather did to get us a school here in Outhouse. Black history, that's American history, okay? It's American history. It's American history. It's not, we don't teach. It's all about inclusion, equal rights, respect for others. We don't teach or believe in anything called racial superiority, and we don't talk exclusion. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. Now, from the outhouse to the White House, I don't need to tell you what I'm talking about. You know what an outhouse was? If you don't know, go to Marjorie Rollins and take your little children over there and let them get in the tight. You know what I'm talking about. If you've never seen one. But it's a journey. It's a journey, people, from going from the outhouse to the White House. It's a journey. And blacks were on a journey. It was a journey. God designed things for a particular reason. I don't question what he does. Like I said, it's a journey, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful. Now, how many of you all in here know what poverty is? How many of you felt poverty? Poverty. That's an outhouse experience. Suicide. That's an outhouse experience. Sexual abuse is an outhouse experience. A feeling of worthlessness is an outhouse experience. How many have been fired from a job? That's an outhouse experience. How many have been demoted on a job? That's an outhouse experience. Divorce. When Johnny told you he don't want you no more, Mary said she don't want you no more. Those are all outhouse experiences. But one thing about these outhouse experiences here, they don't last always.
Say that.
But when you were a slave, you had to get up and look forward to it every day. You knew it was going to be that way next year, 10 years down the line. Outhouse experiences. We've all had them. We've all had them. We've all had these experiences. made it to the so-called real White House. You know the story. Oprah Winfrey made it. Beyonce made it. Colin Powell made it. Serena Williams made it. Hank Aaron made it. Tiger Woods made it. Sheila Johnson made it. Dr. Charles Drew made it. Frederick Douglass made it. Pop Harry made it. All right. I'll come. I know who I am. I don't know nobody on the face of God's earth that's better than I am. Amen. I don't know nobody that's better than I am. You may be just as good as I am, but you know better. Because if you ever think that someone is better than you are, you're going to act according to the way you think. We are all in this together. Yes. We are all in this together. I don't care who you are. Yes. We are all in this together. You know, Sean, I said I wasn't going to sing when you out. I'm talking about Brother Sean. I'm going to preach to you for 1 second. In Matthew, 25th chapter, the 40th verse. All right, it says here, what you do to the least of them, you do unto me. Yeah. All right. What you do to the least of them, you do unto me. The chicken gonna come home to roost one day. All right. The chicken will come home to roost. The only way you don't come home to roost is a hawk game. We're in this together. All right. I want to thank you all for coming. And I want to thank my wife. My wife left Miami and drove here in 4 hours. Miami. I'm in a church house now. This is not a museum. I'm in a church. I'm in a church. God is good. All the time. God is good. All the time. Trust in Him and believe in Him. Because if you ever, I ain't never read in the Bible, and if you can show me in the Bible, if you get to heaven, where God gonna separate people. You show it to me. I got $13. I give every penny. You show it to Pop here. We're in this together. We're in this together. So all I ask anybody, just respect another man. Not only another man, there's a lot of people that's different in this world today. We got people that are poor, respect them. We got people that may be of a different sexual preference, respect them. There are some places in the United States, up around Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas. There are some places up there. I don't care where you live in Alachua County. You don't fit the mold up there. Where that well is. There are some people that look down on us in terms of who you are and where you are, just like we look down on that homeless man. We all God's people. Right? We are all God's people. You're going to meet your maker one day. You're going to meet him. And what you're going to have is some character. Your character got to be something that Jesus like. Yeah. I don't care what no man tell you on this. I know some of you here don't go to church. I don't give a butt naked word. I don't care. I know who I am. But you're going to meet your maker one day. That's right. You better have it right. Thank you all for inviting me. Thank you all for coming. I can stay up here for 4 days.